So there's a really big battle coming up. A huge battle, unlike anything we've ever seen. And it's going to be held at the Video Game Awards.
Oh,
and
boy.
it's going to be between God of War and Elden Ring.
Okay.
And I want Jamie to start this out for Game of the Year. Who should win it?
It's a really tough one. It really, really is.
It's really not.
You think so?
It's not at all. It's not at all. It's nowhere near close. The only thing that's holding one up over as a possibility is IP recognition. But go ahead. Explain to me.
I would say that Elden Ring should get it purely based off of what it did for the industry and what it did for From Software and how the game just completely blew up. I think that's who, if I was looking at the judging board, I would say that's what they would pick. I personally would pick Ragnarok. I think the game is absolutely flawless and it deserves it no different than 2018 God of War did. The game is absolutely amazing. But I think it's definitely going to turn in God of War's favor. Simply because God of War is much more fresher in everybody's minds. Everybody's just played it or currently playing it. Elden Ring came out at the beginning of the year, so it's kind of at the back of everybody's minds. But I am tossed between the two. I think Elden Ring definitely deserves it, but I am biased because I prefer God of War. I absolutely love the franchise, and I think it deserves to win it no different than its previous game did.
And I'm going to start off with Yaffer in chat, who said, I think Elden Ring for innovation. That's the main point. As far as innovation, as far as breaking the mold of basically that genre of gaming, as well as the execution, as well as the depth, as well as the content that's encompassed in an actual $70 game, Elden Ring broke so many conventions and truly gave people something new for the open world RPG. And y'all know, because I've talked about it many times in the other podcast, that I have a problem with open world games. Because until Elden Ring came out, I would always say it's because it's just too big. It's like, I want the set story pieces. I want the action set pieces. I want each individual detail of my adventure to be just crafted to perfection, like a film, like a movie. And yes, Elden Ring was $60. And Elden Ring broke all of my notions of why I disliked open world games. All the things that it did, not holding your hand, being extremely versatile as far as how you want to play it, enemy variation, the artwork of the different lands. You're not just stuck looking at the same thing over and over again or like retextured. Every piece of that game is crafted to a level that has not been seen in recent memory with its diversity. That's not to say anything bad about Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West or God of War Ragnarok. Those games are also crafted to a beauty that no one can take anything from those developers. But Elden Ring is completely fresh.
Yeah, I would agree. It is completely fresh.
I literally would play these games, and God of War isn't one of them because they do give me more of a direct beeline towards just staying on the story. But like the moment I would start Horizon, it's like I open the map. Icons everywhere. They're telling me where I'm going. There's no real exploration. Everyone's telling you where you're going, what you got to do. It's still beautifully crafted and so great. But I just get bored immediately. Okay, well, Bad Robo seems to disagree with me. But I say Elden Ring was fresh. And believe me, Elden Ring isn't even my favorite game from Software. I think Sekiro was their true masterpiece. But Elden Ring also is a masterpiece. I just prefer Sekiro. Sekiro was amazing. But yeah, and it's just the idea that in my mind, the work done on God of War Ragnarok is always breathtaking. But compared to Elden Ring's success alone as a game from that developer, you can't ignore how great it is. You just can't. No, none of their other games combined have made as much as Elden Ring. And there's a reason for it. Hey, it's Daryl, content-wise, I think Elden Ring won. Exactly. Like, I mean, just off of content alone. And the idea that they're still talking about there being a DLC coming out for it. My friend played Elden Ring for over 392 hours and still found something he had never found before.
Yeah, that's very rare to find.
There's no other game in recent memory to the fidelity of Elden Ring where one can say that. And that's before a DLC. If God of War wins, it is completely off of recency bias. That's how I'm going to view it. Now, will I be mad if it wins? No. No, both games are making their money. Nobody's really hurt, and let's get down to it. Most award shows are garbage, okay? They're there kind of like the Oscars where everyone gets to sit around and pat each other on the back. I love to see it, but I think that's the only way God of War wins. In its all, I don't think it beats Elden Ring. Is there more of what you wanted to go into?
Not really, no. I mean, you make some really great points, and they're like the two strongest games I think I've ever seen go head to head for like Game of the Year. There's always been a landslide, isn't there? Like when a game comes out, and you're like, oh well, that's it. It's just Game of the Year. Nothing else is going to top it. And that was the case with Elden Ring. And then came along God of War Ragnarok, which is also a masterpiece. And it's very rare we're in this situation where there's two flawless games going head to head for Game of the Year, and both of them, in my opinion, deserve it on their own individual merits. Yeah. Like everything that you've said about Elden Ring, it deserves it hands down for the innovation that it's brought to the whole gaming genre, and Ragnarok deserves it because it's just one-upped God of War 2018. It's done everything that God of War 2018 did and more and better, and they both deserve it. But if I had to pick one based on what a Game of the Year should be given for, it would be Elden Ring. But I personally think that Ragnarok is going to swoop that up straight away, because it's literally weeks after it came out. We're having the nominations out, so yeah, everyone's going to be playing that. It's going to be fresh in their minds. The internet is still trending with Ragnarok. So,
well, for those that are seeing this after the fact, tell me who you think should win in the comments on YouTube. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and use the 3 seashells on your way out. And if you have $1 laying around in the middle of this recession, feel free to drop by my Patreon. Much appreciated, as all of my videos that use clips get demonetized. I only ask for $1 because it has begun!